Hey, Sumit on this side. So I'm going to create a very short video highlighting two things that I've been doing. One is an audio-based process, a transcription-based process where I lay out the high level of what I'm trying to do, and then it really helps in the large language models to pick up like the general overview. You could use this both to create content, which I'm going to show you today, but at the same time I'm using the same process, same workflow to also describe the user flow and the data flow in projects that I'm building with code, with AI generated code. And it's really useful because it gives like a documentation and kind of insight into your thoughts as to how the users how the user journey looks like. And like I said, I'm using this today to show you how I'm creating content, but the same kind of concepts apply. And other than that, we are also going to see how quickly I've been able to update this website. This is nocoder.com. This is my primary website on which all the vibe coding related content will be going. I'm also hosting an event, by the way. So if you're interested in joining my events, you can go to the events page on this and then join my Luma. Also, please feel free to follow. I'm going to create a bunch of events and they are all going to be free to join in. So yeah, let's get started with this. So first of all, this is nocoder.com currently. This is live. If you see, there is no navigation, there is no header, nothing. This was entirely AI generated. I just needed a scaffold. Like, think of it as just like, hey, let's just give me somewhere to start. Okay, this I did last week, and it came out like however it came out. I will not put an adjective, put a color to it. It's okay. It's an AI generated website. Like, all the content is AI generated, but of course I am a person who has blogged for since ever, like since 2006, and I mentioned this in a previous video that I imported a bunch of those blogs, those contents, and I think a lot. I think out loud, I write, but I've been focusing not so much. I've not been able to focus so much on writing. So I thought, okay, let's bring that back. But I was experimenting in this voice-based process to describe high level like of a software that I'm trying to build. And while I was doing this, so no code is also a software, by the way, that I'm trying to build. That's a no coding software that I've attempted multiple times. But while I was kind of going through the process of describing that software, I thought, okay, you know what? There's this whole thought process in my head which typing it all out seems just too cumbersome, or I lose the flow. But if I speak it out as if I'm describing it to somebody, it's just a nicer, easier workflow to kind of approach for me. So I either take my phone and I record simply into the phone with the recorder app, and then I use the Dolby app on, it's a free app, by the way, on my Android phone. You can use any app you want, and then you can take that recording out into a transcription app. So there are plenty of transcribe apps, audio transcribe. So like basically speech to text, and then what I got was a really large text file. So then what I did, I'll show you one of those examples. Then what I did is, this is how I have been describing my project, no code, the project itself, through text. Let me put in the password. Okay, so this is an example of in my specs you will find, this is the thoughts. Okay, sorry, I was looking for the file, I couldn't figure it out. Anyway, so this was recorded on phone, then it was transcribed through one of the free applications, speech to text. There are many of them which are free of cost. Maybe they'll give you like a trial limit or like per day limits. I am just happy within those limits. I also use the one from this online app called Turbo Scribe. Yeah, Turbo Scribe gives you access to free 3 of them per day, and they are 30 minutes each. And I also recorded with this same microphone and then transcribed through this app. That was for the content that I'm going to show you for the website. So all of these processes work very similarly. Then I take it to Claude Code. I take the raw file and I ask Claude Code, hey, correct only the syntax, the grammar, and the spellings, but nothing else. Like, structurally, do not change the content. And it comes out really well. And then I'm going to show you what I did for creating the content on this website, nocoder.com. And that was that I converted that into a markdown file with sections and everything. So let's see that file. I will just change this editor into that folder. Here it is. This is the intro.txt as it was recorded. Hey, I'm just jotting down my thoughts regarding a website I'm creating about vibe coding, etc. Blah blah blah. It's a fairly long piece of content. Okay, it corrected it, but yeah, it was okay, but it was very large. So then I asked it, hey, create a markdown file, and basically I wanted it to be content on this website. So this website is already built on Astro. Claude knew that, and all it had, like, then it was easy for it to break it down into the stanzas, the paragraphs, the structuring, the headings, etc., to kind of make it feel more like part of the website, and it came out really nice. So when you now go to, this is me showing you locally where it stands. When I go to the playbook, when I start reading, it also, by the way, like automatically added a reading progress. I didn't even ask for it when I did, because the content was lengthy. I think I mentioned that, and it added a reading progress, which is really cool. But now I have this really nice thoughts which I was like laid out as a content. I recorded it, I transcribed them, and now it becomes content on my website. So I really find this approach very nice, both for creating content. Now I'm creating content with this approach, as well as giving the user flows, sharing user flow journeys, data journeys, etc., when I'm building a product. So for both of them, very similar workflows. Okay, now let's come to, so that's the first part. The second part is I want to show you how much I did just today morning. So it has been barely like 3 hours that I'm working on this. Of course, you have to sit with your Cloud Code or any such agent and basically go through point by point, and I'm going to show you a few of those points. Let me first commit and push whatever I'm right now is ready. But here, if you go through the history, you'll see all of this is done in the last 2 through 3 hours at max. And if I'll show you the prompts. Let me first push this out to the changes. Let's look at the changes on github.com. So I go here. There should be a pull request coming in here. Let's wait for it. While we are waiting, let's go through the website as it stands currently. So I go to the home page. There is no header bar. There is no footer. Okay. There is this start learning, which is basically these sections which were all AI generated. So you have software engineering fundamentals, you have AI assisted development, you have AI coding agents, and these are basically these high level sections. And then within these high level sections, you'll have JIT basics, CI/CD introduction. All of this content was AI generated. I didn't touch them at all. And this is what I want to change. I want to make them more personalized, make them my content, like the way I teach, instead of AI just kind of regurgitating, like blurting out content like the way it thought so, which is fine for me to kind of get started. But I want to translate this website, to convert this website to completely personalized journey. Okay, so hopefully, no, the Git is still my internet is a bit slow, by the way, terribly slow sometimes, but that's okay. We're going to wait. What I want to show you is now compared to what I have now. So there's a header bar. Okay, this is all running locally. There is an entire footer. I have divided the content, so the fundamentals, AI development playbooks and tools, all of these are here. So all I asked is, hey, take this page, change it into this. Hey, bring a new footer, add the navigation links for home and about, and then for each of these headings, fundamentals, AI development, just lay out the underlying sections, link to them. Okay, things like that. These are really normal, easy prompts. You would actually prompt this if you are describing this to your own IT department, to your own developers within the company. Same things, basically, not that different. Okay, so for the mantle, I changed. As you can see, the mantle is completely changed. If I go to the home page, as you see, the live website does not even have a footer, so I'm having to change the URLs. So this homepage has totally changed. I'm moving away from calling it vibe coding to no codo, which is the platform and the website I'm building around vibe coding, or basically around no code. This was originally the idea, no code. And then the playbook. The playbook is this entire content, this really long form content, the first page of the first part of the playbook, which is now live or going to be live. But as you can see, it looks nice, but it was not so. So let's see if it has finished this. Okay, so the git push is definitely not working. It's getting stuck somehow. I think it's my network issues. But once it is done, I can show you some. But okay, actually the terminal already works. So I can show you some of these prompts. See, the code blocks in learning modules render very poorly with poor color contrast and headings. Okay, it was all gray. It was all kind of like boring, whatever. And you can just do prompts like these, and it will, of course, sometimes it can go broke. I mean, sometimes it can break and it will not work the way you want it to work, but that's okay. You just keep trying. In some cases, you have to try a few times. But let's look at a few others. For example, let's see, can I find the one with the footer? Yeah, let's add a footer with link to home and about, headings for fundamentals and playbook, link to the sections below the heading. See, that's it. That is how clear it was, how short it was, and I got the footer that I showed you already, right? So this is the footer. I'll do a change right now, and this is, this reading progress is covering the header, right? So I can simply add, and this probably gives you an idea. The in the So I copy the URL that helps it to know which page I'm talking about. In the page, the reading progress covers the page header. Instead, the progress should float below the header. Please check and fix. That's it. That's the prompt. Okay, so make these small changes, bunch of small changes. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm also teaching, by the way, in these sessions, that it's really not that hard once you get your basic structure done. Like, this website is built with Astro, so Astro already gives some of the structure, and then you can use some of the Astro tooling already. So it's not that I'm going all the way from scratch. Nobody is building software from scratch. I think anybody who's talking like that is talking bullshit. Nobody's building software from scratch. You're not building the operating systems. You're already depending on systems that already exist. You're just asking AI to build some of your experience, your product, your website on top of the stuff that already exists. But this already tells you like how much these two websites are different. They are like, there's a lot of matter that has been restructured. There's a lot of new content that I've added, and all of this in a matter of just 2 to 3 hours. And it's not like I cannot move away from the desk because I'm not writing the code anymore. So I can move away from the desk. By the way, let's see what it has done. I hope it works. So let's go to playbook, start reading. No, it still does not work. So this is one of the examples where, like, it does not exactly get it right the first time, and it happens every once in a while, which is fine. It's a bit frustrating, but that's okay, because these kind of things also happen with just us human developers. It's not that things don't break with human developers. I think anybody who says this is just absolutely it actually, let's see, it actually, well, yeah, it comes down. Okay, I see that. Well, oh, you know what, I think I made a mistake. Yeah, because when I'm scrolling down, the header is anyway not visible. Okay, so this is definitely my mistake. See, this is where, I also can make a mistake when I'm thinking through this, because it looks like there is this reading progress at the top as if it's hiding a header. But if I now think about it, I'm like, there was no header floating on the top anyway. When you scrolled on any other page, this was not there. So good example, live example of what can go wrong. I'm going to revert this. You can also easily ask, by the way, to revert some of those changes, and it's fine. But yeah, this is this video. Just wanted to be highlighting on these things that I did. Thanks for watching, and join one of the sessions if you want to. Bye.